If the Laliga starts today, who's going to win? What club?
Who else?
No, I'm not talking about you put it in your bias as a Barcelona fan.
Absolutely.
On what basis?
On what basis that they have a fantastic team? I mean, without this caliber of players, they were able to defeat the champions. Without this caliber of players, they were able to compete for the league, even though they came as at November, as at October, they were ninth. And they drafted themselves back to second position and even competed.
You know, that's why I think it's a valid argument when people take swipe at Barcelona and say their title was winning against Real Madrid, because you now speaking, you say they were able to win the champions when in a game that I don't think really mattered for the champions, because they knew they already had one hand on the trophy.
That game mattered because if Barcelona had
they already had one hand on the trophy.
Exactly. That's judging from the fact
it didn't matter as much.
They had a very good head start, and Barcelona were poor.
They started together. It was not like they asked Madrid to start running first and then Barcelona to come and join.
Barcelona have a great manager who has proven that he can be a great manager.
You already.
Come on.
A great manager? No. You know. I understand. I always have problems with football, with how we as football fans we use some of these words, but okay, if we call Xavi great now, what do we call Ancelotti? What do we call Mourinho? What do we call Pep? What do we call Jurgen Klopp?
Let's call him a potentially great manager, and he has proven that he has the potential.
I've not seen anything like that.
He came and he met a team that wasn't his team. Ronald Koeman had his signings. He had Memphis. He had.
Is there any manager in this world that has come into a team and met his team?
Exactly. He met the signings that he didn't call for, and they were ninth. He took them from ninth to fifth, from fifth to fourth, from fourth to second.
And then I'll put it up to you that him getting into those positions isn't as a result of his quality, but as a result of the poor quality of the league, and those other guys doing very badly.
How were they doing badly?
They were doing badly, and that's what gave Barcelona the opportunity to actually come forward.
So if they were
move forward the way they did,
if they were doing badly, why didn't Barcelona do badly? When they had been doing badly already.
That's tell you. Look, he came.
That's tell you that the manager had something to do.
He came and capitalized on how very, very poor the other guys are.
But, okay.
If he was good enough, why didn't he catch up with Real Madrid, who at some point that he faltered?
We just said that they had the same start, right?
They had the same
all
start.
Teams had the same start. And
absolutely.
All teams were doing badly in La Liga. Let's agree that all teams.
Madrid are not doing badly. Madrid are superior to everybody. He didn't do badly at all.
Wait, Ronald Koeman before his departure had not won a game against Real Madrid in 3 matches. In 3 matches, and champions came, and in less than 6 months.
So winning a game against Real Madrid is the hallmark now.
Against the big boys always a sign that you can compete with the big boys. That's the thing.
Okay,
the big boys in Europe and
I think it validates my argument then that Klopp has been doing well with with Liverpool against Manchester City, because he's always defeated Manchester City, but he's failed to win the league. And probably
last season 2 draws.
Seasons before, I think he has won Pep more times than Pep has won him, even in England.
That's the truth about it. But it's not
all about winning the battle, it's winning the war, right?
They've had more time to compete. Xavi has only had.
What's that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Klopp and Guardiola.
Okay. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
4 years or 5 years, and so.
Yeah, in their 6th year now.
Exactly, 6 years of competition, and you only won him once to the trophy. Xavi has just had 6 months of competing with Ancelotti, so let's give him his card.
So you feel Xavi will compete with this Ancelotti?
He's going to beat him.
He's going to beat Ancelotti to the league title.
I can sign out anything for you, man. He's going to beat him hands down. Camp Santiago done, and winning the league on top of him.
Who will be highest goal scorer for in La Liga this season?
I can't say because Karim is crazy. But Barcelona will win the league. I can bet you.
Barcelona will win the league. Yeah. Oh, no, so that's because that you were just focused on. No. You were just focused on them winning Real Madrid. What about the other teams and?
They didn't do badly against other teams, and I think.
No, I'm talking about into this season. You were so certain that they will defeat Real Madrid in the new season. Then what are the other games that you think Barcelona will encounter some challenges and problems?
Well, I think obviously there are a lot of games that would give them a lot of problems. Getafe has not always been easy for them.
Celta Vigo,
and Valencia was even easy last season. But I think when you have Getafe, Sevilla, they struggled against Sevilla in the first leg. So I think some of these sides that always want to sit back, close down the spaces for runners, close down the spaces for passes, I think it'll be difficult for Barcelona to break down. But with the kind of players they have, the problem is not the problem, but the good thing about it is they have different profiles. So when the team goes this way, they have players that can switch here. When the team goes this way, they have players that can switch here. So I think it gives Xavi a lot of options to do something magnificent.
Okay, let me tell you something. First in the La Liga, Real Madrid, second Atletico Madrid, third Barcelona. Barcelona finished third this season.
Let me tell you the truth, not something. Let me tell you the fact, the truth, and what is going to happen. First, Barcelona, 5 points margin, not even 2 or 1, 5 points. Second, Real Madrid, I'm even giving them last season. They won the Super Cup and they won Champions League. third Sevilla, fourth Atletico Madrid. Take it from.
Now then, for the team that has just been borrowing and finding it difficult to even register their players, don't mind whatever he said. Take it with a pinch of salt. And then taking the whole this level of risk that Barcelona are taking to bring in the players, the levers, the money, the borrowing, all of that. I'm still of the opinion that there will be a point where they will hit a rock and then they will stumble a bit in trying to find a balance and then progress in the season. The panic button might just set in, the panic mode might just set in, and then Barcelona might just shake because of pressure from the board, the fans, and then it might just reflect on the players.
Well, I think every team always go through those seasons or those times where
Barcelona are in a peculiar situation that reacting to it. No, they have to. They don't have an option. Failure is not an option for Barcelona, and I don't know how much of that pressure they can carry. Look, it's not the quality of the players now that I'm really doubting, especially if they're able to get Bernardo Silva. That's topic for that discussion for another anyway. But I think pressure on the young manager who is not really experienced and whose ability I really doubt. Personally, I think might just reflect on the players and then we'll have a problem.
What pressure is more than coming to take a team from 9th position, a team that depends heavily on the Champions League for its revenue, taking them from 9th position to 2nd position?
It's a whole different pressure because when you come, the level of expectation isn't as high as it is this season.
Obviously, I believe.
And then that's a whole new different pressure. And then, to whom much is given, much is expected. Exactly. He has been given so much. Can he deliver on the basis of what he has been given?
We'll see.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Third position, very, very good for them. I think it will be fantastic.
You have Kunde, you have Dembele, you have Rafinha. Come on, third position is close.
I've told you guys, don't really take this serious so that you won't just get heartbroken. Barcelona.
You'll say this again, mate. You'll say this again.
All right. Hopefully, we'll say this again. But for Madrid, what will work for them this season?
Experience,
quality.
Experience. I think that's just it. They've seen it, they've done it, and they can do it again. They showed us yesterday that they can do it again and again and again. I was watching the game with someone and I said, come on, Luka needs a DNA first. Luka really needs a DNA.
He's not at 6. He's not at 7.
Come on.
He's not at 7.
How do you ball
like Benjamin Button. He's going younger. How young is he? It's not a question of how old he is. It's annoying. Oh, that's the best. That's the best for him. At 30, but I think when it comes to quality, I will still say it, right? Madrid have two of the best young midfielders of their generation in Tchouaméni and Camavinga. I will stand by that argument. Camavinga and Tchouaméni are Camavinga is the most talented young midfielder of his generation. Who is more talented than him?
Who won the Copa Trophy?
Now, and in the big games when it really matters. Look, it's not all about. Look, Martial won the Golden Ball. Anderson won the Golden Ball. Don't you know? Look,
transitioning during their time. At that time, when Martial won the Golden Ball, who would you have said was the best under 21 player?
And at that time, I always thought Dybala was a good player.
No, under 21 player.
Well, I when I categorize them right now, but I'm including those guys in 23, 24.
Ballon d'Or bound to an extent.
Ballon d'Or bound. It's like saying Saul was Damascus bound. That was why his son that struck him. I thought to call. He did.
Okay, is he proving like he's a golden boy?
He is, but it doesn't work for everybody. He did.
Did Rooney win a golden ball?
They did. Did Anderson win the golden ball? Did Van der Vaart win the golden ball? Did Martial win the golden ball?
What makes you believe? Did
the Lights win the golden ball?
What makes?
Did they win the golden ball? There are always two sides to a coin, and I feel. I'm not saying Pedri will toe the line off. Of Martial, Pogba, and the rest, right? He might end up with Rooney, but it doesn't mean that there's not a Ronaldo and Messi in that generation. And that Ronaldo and Messi might just be Camavinga.
When it was Messi's generation and Messi and our generation, it was Messi who won it, and they've been dominating for years.
Ronaldo never even got close to the golden ball.
The likes of Haaland and the rest of them, and he won it over them. In Pedri's generation, he has the likes of Bellingham. I won't take Bellingham for
No, I'm talking. They don't even play in the same position, so they don't play in the same position. But in terms of talent, right? When you see transitioning from that under 21 to under 23 football, he's just 19, about approaching 20. And look at what that guy is able to do. Camavinga is actually the best young player of his generation. Young midfielder, I beg your pardon. Young midfielder of his generation. Growing, he will be from this set. What I'm trying to say, in the next 5 years, Camavinga will be the best of the best.
But Tchouameni is nowhere close.
I'm focusing on Camavinga, and then I want you to bring in Pedri into the conversation and tell me that Pedri is a better player, will be a better player than Camavinga in the next 5-10 years.
I believe he would.
Pedri.
Yes,
Pedri.
They are almost equal. If not equal,
Nearly does not kill a bird.
No.
Nearly does not kill a bird.
Pedri is even better.
Who is better?
Pedri had more goals last season.
Who had more better impacts? Who was winning Champions League matches? Who was winning Champions League matches?
Who was winning the Champions League? Did he give assists? Did he give goals?
He was the enforcer, and then he took the game by the scruff of he grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and then took it to the opponent, and then what? He made sure that he still won the game.
When both of them met in your classical, who boxed you?
No.
How many times have Pedri rescued points for Barcelona?
He was rescuing points. Camavinga was rescuing trophies. He was rescuing trophies. What will you use points and do? He was rescuing trophies. Look at the game against Manchester City. Look at the game. So if Pedri goes to this Madrid team, he'll start there.
No.
You know, he couldn't say no once. Tell him again. No.
Pedri is going to break any midfield.
That's just incredible. That's incredible. That's the Barca fan.
Take it from me.
The segment is showing bias and prejudice and all of this.
We're talking about technically. We're talking about. See, if there's anybody that can take over from me, listen to what Guti said yesterday.
I don't care about Guti was not a good footballer. Keep Guti aside.
Are you serious, man?
Who made Guti an authority in football?
Guti. That is absolute blasphemy.
Guti. Let me tell you, Guti played about 14 years in Real Madrid, and he was a bench player for 14 years. He's a bad player. He was a bad player. Guti was a bench player. Okay. He was a bench player for 14 years or more at Real Madrid. Luka Modric. He's as good as any other midfielder.
What did Guti say? Guti said there are only 2 players in the world of football that reminds him of himself. Who? Luka Modric and Pedri.
This guy's overrating himself. He's overrating himself and Pedri. That is less true because he used to give back kick. Guti took himself to play.
Guti was sensational.
This is a classic case of if they carry himself go well, no. Like Guti.
See, let me tell you something.
Romy Guti is not here. Maybe we have made this a better man.
Let me tell you something, man. There's something about Pedri that is exquisite. It's not just about it. We're looking at a player who didn't even come from La Masia, broke into a Barcelona team, broke into a Spanish national team, benching Thiago Alcantara, the professor himself, benching Rodri.
Who benches Thiago Alcantara? So Water will find in levels. They don't even play in the same position. Thiago Alcantara is a deep lying playmaker. Thiago Alcantara is a deep player. Pedri is a more advanced footballer now. Come on, he's a more advanced player.
4-3-3 setup. Where would Thiago Alcantara?
He plays on the left hand side of the field. He can also play on the 6. He plays in a more advanced position than Thiago. Thiago doesn't go forward as much as Pedri does.
Okay.
That's because of how the team wants to play. But okay, are you telling me that if everything being equal, totally sorry boss, Pedri will play ahead of Thiago? He's a better footballer than Thiago.
Come on now, these guys are Pedri is 19. Thiago is.
I'm asking you a question, direct answer.
When Thiago was 19?
As it is now. Yeah.
Luis Enrique has shown us that it's possible.
Luis Enrique, I'm asking you. I'm not asking Luis Enrique.
I believe in Luis Enrique.
You believe in Luis Enrique? If Luis Enrique tells you
that I should take, Luis Enrique chose.
So you are an Enrique believer.
Luis Enrique chose a Busquets over Rodri. Good decision. Luis Enrique chose.
Come on, man. This Busquets now. Come on.
Exactly.
So
if he can make one good decision, he can make another good decision.
So if he also makes a bad decision, he can also make another bad decision because Piqué is still in the team.
What bad decision?
He made a bad decision.
He went to the semi-finals with that team.
And then he made a bad decision that made them to lose the semi-final with that team. So since he's made a bad decision,
penalties, man.
Who selected the spot kickers?
Who lost them? They lost them.
Who selected them? I thought this guy.
What you have?
Come on, man.
He doesn't have good penalty takers, and he lost the game against Italy. Italy has fantastic penalty takers. They have a renowned Jorginho in their side. Who can Spain pinpoint as a good penalty taker in that team? Nobody. Apart from Ramos, and nobody
We've moved the entire debate now from you've tried to move it from Pedri, Camavinga to bringing Thiago, all the blasphemies you've made, and You are helping Guti to amplify the nonsense he's saying. But it's fine. It's fine. Kamavinga will become the best midfielder of his generation, and that's on facts.
Say this in 3 years' time.
All right, time shall tell. Well, it's been a fantastic one. Huh? But why are we even running this up? Please take it up.